Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. We have had a look at the State of Idaho versus Brian C. Kohberger docket to see if any more filings unsealed by the court in this very highly sealed case. On December 18th, 2025, Judge Stephen J. Hippler entered an order directing that dozens upon dozens of documents from January, February, and March of 2025 were to be unsealed to the public. As of right now, certain of those documents have been unsealed, certain others remain sealed to the public. Grand total right now of documents that have been unsealed in the more than 2.5 years that this very heavily sealed case proceeded in pretrial are for the months of January, February, March, April, May, June, and July of 2025. Nothing thus far from 2024, nothing thus far from 2023, and nothing thus far for the final days of 2022. As this case was initiated December 29th, 2022, with the filing of the Detective Brett Payne affidavit of probable cause. So at this point, we are nearing almost a year since Mr. Kohberger's change of plea of July 2nd, 2025. With him waiving all of his appellate rights, and even with the ruling this past week from SCOTUS stating that miscarriage of justice was now a national policy that could be utilized by defendants who did want to appeal their waiver of appellate rights. No indication Mr. Kohberger wants to appeal. No one else has ever been whispered of as a potential accessory before the fact, after the fact, co-conspirator, or alternative perpetrator. According to the state of Idaho, it was Mr. Kohberger and Mr. Kohberger alone that committed the crimes from beginning to end at 1122 King Road back on November 13th, 2022. And at this point, the rhetorical question must be asked: what has caused a stop in the unsealing of documents in this highly sealed case, where many hearings were held outside of the public domain? In some cases, they weren't even noticed, so the public had no notice that these hearings were being held. Other times there was notice, but the hearings were sealed to the public. And then there was, of course, the gag order that was presented to the first judge, Judge Marshall, on day 4 of the case, drafted by defense counsel attorney Taylor, who went to the prosecutor, Bill Thompson, and asked him to join in a stipulation, an agreement that it would be proper to put this gag order in place, and Judge Marshall agreed. That gag order was revised a couple of times. There were many efforts over the years to try to get it set aside. It was not set aside until the media came back into the case, as they had before, in the name of the First Amendment, and successfully obtained an order setting aside that gag order. But their second request for an immediate unsealing of the case was denied because Judge Hippler indicated he would be initiating a process where documents would be looked at, apparently on a case-by-case basis. And as we have said, that process has seemed to have come to a slow halt without any indication from the court why, when the additional documents that were ordered to be unsealed in December will be, and when the court will pick up and start issuing orders governing the potential unsealing of documents starting with the end of 2024. We're going to continue to keep you posted as further developments arise. Until next time, thank you for joining us here today.